Hi everyone! Lately we've been learning about lots of different famous artists from all around the world. Well, this week we're going to head down into the southwest corner of England, down into Cornwall, to meet a very famous British artist called Ben Nicholson. And Ben Nicholson was particularly talented at taking normal things like landscapes or still lifes or bowls of fruit or ordinary things and turning them into very simple, flat shapes like squares and triangles and rectangles. He did what was called like a minimalist abstract art. And we're going to have a go today at creating a piece of art in the style of Ben Nicholson. But before we do, let's find out a little bit more about the artist. Ben Nicholson was a British modernist painter who made abstract drawings and paintings with lots of squares, circles and rectangles. They're very simple and flat. He often looked at things in the real world and transformed them using simple shapes. Here's the first abstract painting Ben Nicholson ever made. The picture is painted on canvas, but he later painted onto wooden boards. He would sometimes even use a razor blade to scrape back the paint so that the pictures look weather-beaten and old, as if they'd been eroded by time. Ben Nicholson was born in England in 1894. His father was also a very famous artist called William Nicholson and had a great influence on him. Ben Nicholson married another artist and sculptor called Barbara Hepworth. They often worked together and were inspired by each other's art. Ben Nicholson travelled to many parts of the world and was inspired by the Dutch painter Pierre Mondrian. In 1934, Nicholson visited Mondrian in his studio in Paris. He loved the feeling of light that Mondrian created in his abstract works. Nicholson began to make paintings inspired by Mondrian, using primary colours and tones of blue and grey and white. While he was studying at the Slade School of Fine Art in London, Ben Nicholson also met a famous artist called Pablo Picasso and discovered another type of art called Cubism. Cubism was a style of art invented around 1907, using geometric shapes and forms to make objects, landscapes and people. Cubism inspired Ben Nicholson to start experimenting with new ideas. For a long time, many people thought Nicholson's paintings were outrageous and he struggled to make a living from selling them. But in 1940, he moved to St Ives in Cornwall, where he studied colours of the landscape. He began to find his own style that reflected the greys, browns and greens of the countryside. Many other artists who were also interested in abstract art also moved to St Ives, and soon there were many artists living in a little fishing village, and they became known as the St Ives Group. Nicholson died in 1982, but by then he was considered to be one of Britain's best artists who would introduce many new and exciting ideas about modern art to Britain. So now we know a little bit more about Ben Nicholson, we're going to have a go at trying to recreate a piece of artwork in his style. So let's get our things ready, let's get started. For this, you'll need some glue, you'll need some scissors, and you'll need some different assorted coloured paper, whatever you need to match the picture that or whatever it is that you're drawing. And for this, I'm going to do a bowl of fruit. So I'm going to start by cutting up some paper and making this like a collage. Okay, I didn't have the grey, so I'm going to use blue. Okay, there's my bowl. Okay, and there's my very cool piece of collage abstract art of a bowl of fruit in the style of Ben Nicholson. Very cool. So there you go. There was my attempt at doing a piece of artwork in the style of Ben Nicholson, using lots of simple shapes like squares or circles or triangles or rectangles. Have a go yourself at trying to do your own picture and try and keep it as simple and as basic as possible so that it may not even end up looking like what it's supposed to be. It's lots of fun. Get creative with it, see what you can come up with, and have lots of fun doing your great piece of artwork. Bye.